Hey guys, I'm back with another motivational video. My name is Christerpher Meyers. I'm an author and mindset coach. Today I want to dive into the perspective chapters in life. We all have a story in life, and sometimes we have to rewrite our story. And sometimes we have to edit, delete even people out of our lives in our story. Negative people, replace them with positive people. Today I want to dive in, letting you know in chapters in life that when you have a story in your life that you want to tell, you don't have to let the person read. They will read your life. A successful life. Going through whatever challenges, going through adversities, whatever you're going through a life, we all have a story. The chapters in our lives tells it all. When people are looking at you as you go on through your day in life, they're reading your story. They're turning the page, reading between the lines, and you are telling them your story even though you don't know it. One of the experiences I did have when I was going through adversities and challenges through my journey, people would look at me. I would smile, I would go on with my day, and they never could know any difference of what I was going through, but I put forward a successful mindset as well as a successful living each day in a positive attitude. So while we read our book and write our book, even our story in life, we have to understand that no matter what the chapters say, you'll get to that page, read it, find out, and know within your story how detailed, how illustrated, and how creative you are when you do write your story. Your book could be called Never Give Up. Your book can be called Overcoming Challenges, Overcoming Adversities, Winning Battles. Whatever your book or your story is, let it be positive. One thing I like about books, and a lot of things I like about chapters in books, it tells you what the book is about. So in life, we have to understand that people are going to know what our life is about, and we want our story to be in a great way. And also, we want to let the community, let ourselves know, first of all, that our book and our story is a better version of who we are, and we couldn't be better author or co-author of our own story in life. As we flip through the pages in life, as we flip through the pages in our story, we will find that no matter how many times we read our story in life, we are always going to find that it's totally different in another perspective. Each time we read it, it's going to be differently. And that's how it is in life. We're not going to live life each day the same. Even in a book, we're not going to read the book. We can get many ways of thinking of it when we read a book, if we read it 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. And that's the way we are in life. When we get up each morning, that's a new chapter in our lives. When we leave the door and go out in public in the world, that's another chapter in our lives. Treating people right, smiling, helping hands. That's another chapter in our lives. Even when we are grieving, missing people that's gone before us, that's a chapter in our lives. Perhaps you follow me. The reason why I stated that is because even though we go on with our lives, there's always a new chapter in the midst and always a chapter in the beginning. There's always a chapter at the end. And at the end of a story, there's always the end. But we don't want our story to be over. We want a continuation of our life story in life in a positive way. We want our story in life to be a continuation. We want our life of our story in life to be many, many, many books, and also a continuation of not just in our lives, but we want to continue a successful journey in the stories that people can see in our lives, as well as look at us while we go about in life, as about also as we go through this world and each day in our lives. I love sports, and you know that I love to compare life with sports. And football is my best sport, and I love to compare our stories with sports. Because in football, if you don't know anything about football, I look at it as each yard is a page, and each yard gained is the number of a page. Follow me. So when you have a yard and when you have another yard, just remember, each chapter in your life is always proceeding, progressing. And in sports, like football, it's always moving forward. Perhaps you get a penalty, you're moving backwards. But that's when we have to rewrite our story. Perhaps we do go back in time. So I just want to let y'all know, y'all guys out there listening to Chapters in Life, always remember, no matter what chapter in your life you're at, no matter how you rewrite your story, just remember, whatever life, whatever way you live your life, just remember, live your life as it's the next chapter in your life. Getting a degree, getting a promotion, even getting a home, getting free of cancer, any diagnosis, anything that's overcoming, even successes, overcoming challenges, even the toughest times. And when we know in our heart, and we know when we embrace in our hearts that a smile, a helping hand, and the love for people, positive people, and remember, sometimes you have to edit your story. Sometimes you have to illustrate your story. Draw a picture. Look at the picture and paint it how you want your life to look. And those are goals. And your goals and your story are the ones that we want people to look at. We all are a work in progress. And sometimes we might have to rewrite our story many times. Failures, mistakes, but that's okay. We all are a bestseller in our lives. New York Times bestseller, even a bestseller than that, and that's living our lives the best way we can. So flip through the pages, find your chapter in life, and also be a bestseller. Let people look at your story in life. Live each day to your best and be the best version of who you are and who you can be as well. So live your life. Let people read. And whatever chapter is in your life, let it be the next chapter. Not the end, but also let it be a continuation of becoming the next bestseller in your life. Be blessed.